Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new apartment video. And today I've got an apartment to show you almost in the center of Moscow. We're 5 kilometers away from Red Square. We're in the Sokolnicheskaya region of Moscow, very famous, very old district. The apartment is right behind me, and this might be interesting. I'm going to show you around. And we've got a little bit of a surprise at the end as well, so stay tuned. The apartment we're going to go and look at is right in front of me here, and it's actually a ground floor or first floor apartment, depending on how you count the floors in Russia. And this is a building dating back to the 1980s. However, we're just going to go on the ground floor, so no need to go on elevators, no need to walk upstairs. Plenty of snow in Moscow, and if I was to walk 5 minutes from here, I would be at Sokolnicheskaya metro station, and if I was to walk 10 minutes from here, I'd be in the very beautiful Sokolnicheskaya Park, which is absolutely stunning, and you can get the metro to any point of Moscow from here. 5 minutes walk. There's actually a supermarket in the next building. It's a very quiet neighborhood. Lots of apartments around, a few people home, a few people not, and literally so peaceful. No cars whizzing by, no main highway, and I think as a Russian typical apartment, I think it'll be a good example of what you can buy here in the center of Moscow. Now, the way I say the center, because there's quite a lot of areas of Moscow that are inside the garden ring, and this is very close to Red Square, if that's where you want to count as the center. Snowdrifts are blowing over. Today, right now, it's -8, but the real feel is -13 Celsius, so it's a little bit chilly. If you're wondering who I am, of course I'm Russell, which is the channel named after. I'm an Australian who lives here in Moscow, and I make videos about Russian typical life. Quite a mixture of videos on the channel. I really want to try and do more of these apartment tours if I can. So I hope you enjoy this video and some other videos. I'll put some links and cards to some other apartment tours if you've not seen them on the channel already. Believe it or not, it's only 4:15 in the afternoon, and it's completely dark because of winter now. It starts getting dark just after 3 p.m. and then in the mornings, 9 a.m., the light starts to appear, and you can see the building right here where we're going to go in. This is the door that we need to go through to get on inside. They actually clear the pavements, which is very nice, so somebody is doing the right thing. You can actually see on the wall here, these yellow pipes are the gas pipes for the apartments. Older buildings have gas, most modern buildings don't, and it's all electric. There's all of the information if you want to call somebody or find out something. Strangely, they've got a supermarket advertisement on there. And then to get on inside, we just need to get the pin code to go on in. I won't show you that. The next scene will be right on inside. Coming inside. So this is a ground floor apartment or ground floor flat. And we don't have that far to go, which is very handy. A few steps to go on upstairs. They do actually have a fold down ramp for people with disabilities or maybe mothers with prams. And then these very classic Russian mailboxes. The thing is, we have these installed in our apartments, but do we ever use them? The only thing we ever get in them is the bill for the building, the communal bill. And this is where there would have been a lady sitting here saying hello to everybody. Nowadays, they don't have them in these older buildings. And coming upstairs. Now, if you were living on the upper floors, this is where you would actually take the elevator to other levels. So there's a normal passenger lift, and then there's what they call a freight lift, which is the one on the left here. And then We are going to be going on the ground floor, which is very handy. There is actually a garbage chute. This would actually be for the whole building. Then it will actually go to the lower level where they take out the garbage. And then we've got the choice of the doorbell. And then the owners for this floor would actually have the key. I've opened this ahead of time to make it easier. And then this is as Russian as it gets. The tiles, the paint, and somebody's got their bike even outside as well. And this is where we need to go, right here. So coming inside the apartment for the first time, I've actually got the door locked ahead of time, so it's a little bit easier. And I've had to explain this in a few videos. It is customary to take your shoes off in anybody's apartment when you first come in. And I'm actually being very fortunate. I've got some slippers, so I can make the video walking around in some house slippers. Now, the apartment layout is very typical of this era of building. And the total square meters of this apartment is 35 square meters. So when you first come in to this corridor here, you've got the bathroom on the left, and then the kitchen with a small little diner area, and then the main living room, if you call it that. And then there is a storage closet right here. So what I'll do, I'll show the bathroom after the kitchen. So coming on inside, the actual kitchen itself is quite modern looking. It's always deceiving when you see the buildings from the outside and then you come in the apartment and you see where it's been changed over the time and it's been remodeled a little bit. And it's got a double sink. Even my apartment doesn't have a double sink. I think everybody in Russia has that same IKEA knife and fork storage though. And this apartment actually has gas for the hot plate. Depending on the age of the building, you'll have gas in older buildings. Any new apartments in Russia, it'll be electric. So it's very nice to have gas. And then some pot cupboards. And then there's actually a built-in wall oven there and microwave. And then there's a nice little seating area over here. This is very typical of most apartments that you come to visit in Russia. So you got the table and chairs, and then there's usually a sofa with a blanket on it. And this is very typical. I'm going to keep saying it. There's an interesting bottle up in the alcohol cupboard here called Sheridan's. And this is actually a coffee liqueur from Dublin, Ireland. And it's actually 2 bottles, and it pours from 2 spouts, coffee and cream. And if you live in America, you can't buy that bottle in America. If anybody can tell me the reason why, let me know in the comments. There's actually a small breakfast bar here. Beautiful photo of the countryside. We'll put my hand over the calendar right there. Nice big fridge, which is always nice. And we'll come around, and what we'll do, we'll show the bathroom, I think, next. And then coming into the bathroom, you've got a very compact bathroom. This is very typical, again, of this size of apartment. The bath and a shower up on the left, around the corner here. And then plenty of baskets for all of the shampoos and things like that. The actual toilet is built into the wall here. This is the technical space where the hot and cold water would come into the apartment and for the entire building. And there's actually an upright washing machine, or a top-loading one, which is quite rare in Russia. Heated towel rail, which is very nice to actually keep the bathroom warm at the same time. And then this corner sink. So all the space has been taken up very nicely. This bathroom was actually updated only a couple of years ago. So it actually does look more modern than the building, quite literally. And then we'll spin around. So there is a big storage closet here to hang all your coats and things like that. And plenty of things inside, which is very normal in an apartment. Every cupboard has got something stored. And then walking into the main room of the apartment, you've got this large living room. Now, this is described as a one-room apartment, and essentially, for most people around the world, it'd be one-bedroom apartment, but there isn't a separated bedroom. But you will see in a minute There is a nook off to the side. This is my coat right here. And then the sofa right here can actually pull out to be an extra bed. So you've got people staying over. It's very nice. And then have a look. You've got this big TV cabinet and every man's dream. PS5, some games, TV, another wardrobe there. Generally people will put clothes in these in the lounge room as well. And there isn't a balcony for this apartment, so it's actually one bigger space. And then there's also air conditioning, which is nice, particularly for summer. You can see the inlet outlet pipe right there. You wouldn't use it in winter because there is central heating in the apartment just down here. And if I touch that bar, that is roasting hot. And then the normal elements right there. I think this is the same model of radiator I have in my apartment. And then as I spin around, you can get a bit of a bigger perspective of the space. And then in the back here, there's a nook. That's what I'm going to call it, where you've got the main bed in the apartment. Now, depending on the apartments that you might visit, a lot of people put a curtain here or a rod that you can separate it off so it doesn't feel like you're living in the bedroom or you're sleeping in the lounge room, if that makes sense. So I'd say this is probably a queen-size bed, which is very nice. I'm pretty sure maybe that's the reverse cupboard for the wardrobe right there. And what do you think, everybody? Plenty of room. And again, this is considered a one-room apartment. I mean, in Australia, we would call this a one-bedroom apartment because the fact there is a bed and there is a room, but it's called a one-room apartment. 35 square meters. Let me know what you think. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in just a second. Coming back to the corridor, you've got the Wi-Fi right here on the wall. That's the main breaker. Somewhere to hang your coats and shoes, and you're all good. So I'm actually joined here today by the real estate agent who's selling this property. This is Irina.
Yeah.
Now, this is a little bit different to how I might do my normal walk around of Russian typical apartments.
Yeah.
Now, we're actually in the Sokolnicheskaya region in Moscow.
Yeah.
Maybe you can talk very briefly about where we are.
It's second, not one of the, not the first region, but second from the best regions in Moscow, because there are big forest inside the region.
Sokolnicheskaya Park, right.
Yes.
And from here, I think it's 5 minutes.
Yes, by walk.
7 minutes walk.
Yeah.
And from the metro, so to get public transport from here.
And do you know, there are in the park...
squirrels, rabbits.
No, big one with...
Rabbits?
No.
Squirrels?
Lois. I don't know.
I don't know either.
In Russia, it's Lois, and next year, later you will check it.
Okay, let me know in the comments if you know the name. So this apartment is for sale.
It's for sale, yeah.
Now, this is a very typical Russian apartment building.
Yeah, one bedroom.
Yeah, one bedroom or one room apartment.
One room apartment, yes.
Now, you know how to explain a little bit more now. This would make a great, would you say for a family or maybe for somebody single, maybe newly married couple?
Last 6 years, there are, had been living 2 people or one.
Okay.
It was for rent.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
And now it's rent by one person.
Okay, so beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It has to be maybe a guy, I think, if we see PlayStation.
No, it's man, of course.
And maybe. I was thinking maybe when I saw the purple iron, maybe it's lady, but...
Lady used to be here.
Now, when you buy this apartment, what's included? I think most of the furniture.
Yes, but it's the owner has not to do it.
Right. So it's their decision or their discretion.
Yes, it's every time deal between owners and sellers.
This might stay, this won't stay. Obviously, personal possessions not, but...
For Russian, it's traditionally when it's sell only the wall.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So
price by wall.
Now, I'm going to put your information in the description of the video.
Yeah, I will.
And then perhaps if people are watching when it's right on the channel very soon, it might be still... So this is for sale, of course. I think I've mentioned that already.
And
Ooh,
This
tell me.
apartment has the best price in region.
For this Sokolniki region.
Yes.
Now, the one thing I was going to mention, I don't know if I've mentioned it or not, because you're now mixing me up with my normal style. So this is 5 kilometers from Red Square.
5 kilometers and
As
I think
the- as
maybe
the cro-
15 minutes by car.
As the crow flies.
Yes.
They say as the crow flies.
Yeah.
But with a little bit of traffic, maybe.
No, 20
6.
minutes by car.
Right. But 5 minutes literally if we could fly with a...
Metro.
Well, of course, yeah.
Five points by
Yeah,
metro.
Sokolniki Red Line
Yes.
Metro, which is the first line in Russia, in Moscow.
Because Red Square, because all theaters on this line,
Right.
on Red Line.
And that's the one I take home as well. So, yeah, so the possibility of someone buying this to live in, of course, but it's also possible if they wanted to rent it.
Yeah.
Well, it would be the owner's
Yes,
decision.
Of course, and you will earn money.
Good rent return. I
Buy
think.
it, Russell, please.
My wife, we just bought our apartment
Maybe
recently.
one more. Okay.
If I can sell it and then move and fast, maybe we can do a trade-in deal.
Of
I give you the keys to that, you give me the keys to this. So, yeah. So, Irina, by the way, gentlemen, if you're looking, Irina...
Can help everybody.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
And I'm single.
I wasn't suggesting that, but if you... Maybe we'll put your TikTok in the descrition.
I haven't Instagram.
Instagram, right.
Instagram.
Which we don't use in Russia, of course, but...
Of course. No, for Russian we have a wiki.
Right, so I'll put the link to this apartment for sale in the
Yes.
description. However, if people are watching it later, maybe it's sold, we don't know. Tomorrow it could be somebody...
We are ready to
Right.
show every time. Tonight, tomorrow, today.
Yeah,
when
so
you would like to see.
that's the one thing in Russia with real estate agents. They're never not available, pretty much.
Yeah.
24/7, okay, reasonable times to come and view things, but while ever this is nobody living here, it's obviously easier to come and show it, right, within reason.
Yes, but it's not center, but it's close to center of Moscow.
5 kilometers from Red Square.
It will be sell with rent, with problems, but it will sell.
Now, I live 50 kilometers from Red Square, by the way, so I'm in
Me
Moscow.
7.
7? Oh my gosh. Okay, so thank you, Irina.
Thank you, Russell. I'm glad
And
to show
I'm
you
going to
this.
join everybody for the end of the video in just a second. Probably outside in the cold. So yeah, thanks.
-7.
As I walk on out of the apartment, I normally do my endings as I walk away from the apartment or from whatever place I've gone to visit. But because it's very cold and very chilly, the real feel temperature is now -14. So it's just a little bit difficult to get my words out. So I'm just going to walk around the corner to the local shop and I'm going to do the ending right there. Have a look at all the snow around me. It's actually very nice to walk here in winter. I would normally have my gloves on and scarf and beanie and jacket, so it's not uncomfortable. But holding the camera and trying to talk can be a little bit difficult, so give me a minute and I'm going to let you know all of the information about the apartment. I've only had to walk literally 2 minutes to my favorite Vitorichka supermarket, and I'm going to come in here for a few minutes to warm up and talk about the apartment to you. I've managed to warm up a little bit now. I'm in the supermarket here, right next to the pastries, which are making me very hungry. So the apartment that we've just seen was listed for sale, or it currently is for sale as of me recording this. And of course, Irina there was the real estate agent who is showing that apartment and is actually a friend of mine at the same time. And I will put all her details in the description of the video. She is very bubbly and super friendly, and she knows her stuff really and truly, especially Moscow real estate. I can tell you that for sure. Now, the list price for the apartment was 10.95 million rubles. That will come up on the screen right here. So just about 11 million rubles. And at the moment, the actual apartment is listed for sale, and there is somebody living there. However, once it's sold, of course, they would move out. and there is rental potential as well. So 10.95 million rubles, if you were to convert that, is 105,000 US dollars, 100,700 euros, and 83,000 pounds. Now, any other currency you can convert yourself. This is based on today's exchange rate. So please let me know how that compares to perhaps where you live. And for a rental, now if you're interested in buying that place and renting it out, it would rent in absolutely minutes. The current owner did have it previously rented. Now someone else is just living there temporarily. And once it gets sold, of course, whatever happens, happens. It would rent for 50,000 rubles per month. And in Russia, you pay monthly the rent. And the only additional things you'd pay on top of the rent would be for electricity, gas, and water. And if you connect the internet, you'd have a small fee as well. So 50,000 rubles a month works out at $483 per month, 460 euros per month, or 382 pounds per month. So even in dollars, $120 a week. Now, keep in mind a few things about the apartment. Now, of course, it is an older building. We're in a very old part of Moscow here. However, you're 5 minutes walk to the metro. Literally, Sokolnicheskaya metro station is at the end of this street. This is the nearest supermarket, which is 2 minutes away, a few minutes away. You are literally a short drive to Red Square if you wanted to go to the absolute center of Moscow, but from the metro station, you can go to anywhere in Moscow or Moscow region, literally just to walk to the station. And in terms of a rental, I think it would suit somebody who's single or maybe a young couple. Generally, these apartments will have families with kids. However, it's not very spacious for kids to run around everywhere, but it is very normal for parents with a child to live there. But maybe for myself, it would be absolutely perfect. That PlayStation, I'd have to negotiate that into the price, I think. So let me know what you think about the apartment. And of course, Irina, we went through a little bit previously as well. And the price, again, I'll put the link to the listing for this in the description of the video. And then if it does sell at some point, I will update a pinned comment so that you can get a better idea as well of that. If you do want to contact Irina, I will put her details. And if you want to buy somewhere else in Moscow, I'm sure she can help you. She does have a number of listings. She is an ongoing real estate agent in Moscow and deals literally every day with apartments. And such a nice friend to have in Moscow. Should I need to buy somewhere, we've just bought our own apartment, and she did joke around there about I should buy it. Of course, it would be great, but we just bought our own place. So yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe mention Irina in the comments. I know she'll be reading them and she'll be super curious of what everybody puts, commenting about her in the video. I think she could have her own YouTube channel. What do you think? And yeah, put a comment. Let me know what you think of the apartment and of the price. You know, I think for where we are in Moscow, this is very reasonably priced. Very, very reasonable. 5 kilometers from Red Square. And if you were to get on the metro, I think it's 4 stops to get to where is Alexander Garden and then the Kremlin right there. It's not that far. I will literally go past it on my way home now. So yeah, if you want to follow me on Telegram, the link will come up right here. You can join me on Telegram anytime. I'm very active in the chat part of the channel. And if you want to see an old video, I'll put one right here of another apartment that you can watch on the channel. And you can keep traveling with Russell. Okay, everybody, I'm going to have a pastry and I'm off on another adventure. Bye.